oh, what happens if we do this? How about we put these cameras here? And then we start doing it, and like our wires are all jank and everything. And then my dad and Tyler Rose are like, all right, this is how you actually like tape things down properly. This is how we actually like do these things.
Hey, why don't you go ahead and for all the people at home, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, what you do, where you are, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm Matthew Marinick. I own a production company called Happy Feet Productions that does all the major championship live streams, at least here in the United States and North America. And basically, I'm in like the Detroit area, so I'm heavily ingrained more into the Michigan speedcubing scene if you are kind of going by the United States. So I grew up going to, Ann Arbor competitions. They had lots of Michigan cubing club competitions that I would go to as a kid. That's how I got into it back in 2018. And then I just kind of did like a bunch of, film classes in school that ended up leading me to gain into broadcasting. That has kind of combined the two passions and created my company, Happy Feet Productions, that does all the major championship live streams. So, yeah.
Very cool. So I'm just looking up Michigan on the map here. So north, south, east, west. So you're not... I struggle with because there's a few sort of like... It's like gangs in America with the cube. There's like West Coast cubing and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you done anything with West Coast cubing? Forgive me if that's a stupid question, but I get confused.
I've done stuff. I'm good friends with Michael Chai and Manu, and a lot of people like Shane Grogan, like a lot of just West Coast cubers that I've met at like major championships and stuff. So they also have like cubers live down there, so I've helped them out with like their live streams a lot of times. So I've like let them use graphics and stuff from Happy Feet to make their streams look good and everything. So that's so I do a lot of work down there in the West Coast too, to just kind of grow cubing in general, that sort of thing. So I've done a lot of work in the West Coast, but I reside in Michigan. So
okay.
So I guess there you could say like I'm part of like the Michigan gang, but I am a sympathizer to the West Coast.
Okay. That's cool. We'll love to see that. Love to see that collaboration. Okay, so what I'd love to you've alluded to it already, talking about film school and broadcasting and things like that. I would love to have you sort of explain the story, like your origin story, right? You're like your origin story for Happy Feet. Where did it come from? We are going to have to ask about the name at some point. But where did the whole thing come from? What was it born out of? Oh, we still there? Is Matthew frozen? Rutro.
Yo.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Okay.
Did you hear the question?
Yeah, so basically I did. So back when I was in high school, I started doing a film program with my, they're like a local public access TV station that basically had it where for your last hour of the day, your last class of the day, if you filmed after school activities like football games, basketball games, volleyball games, you could take that hour off during school. So I would go and I would do like all these games and stuff. And I became really good at like instant replay. And that's why I learned how to do like a lot of things, just kind of know the in and outs of how broadcast work. So I did that for like basically all 4 years of high school. And because of that, I was able to, go into college, and I actually am a math major. So I don't really have any formal like schooling at all besides like obviously that class in terms of like any kind of like broadcast experience. But my freshman year of college, I was approached by just someone who lived in like the same dormitory as me and was like, hey, I would like do the sports broadcasting stuff. We need like more camera people and some replay operators. Can you do that? So I started doing that kind of thing. And then by the end of that school year, we ended up having to film, our like department had to film commencement. And I've been doing instant replay for all the sports and stuff up to that point for the my college. And when I was being a cameraman for commencement, the basketball coach came up to me and he was like, are you guys the sports broadcasting department? I was like, yeah. And at this point, I've been doing all the instant replays for basketball. And he was like, hey, tell whoever the instant replay operator is that they're doing an amazing job, because I use all of those replays for like game film. And I was like, well, that's actually me. And he was like, dude, you do like awesome work. You should, like, what do you want to do with all of it? And I'm like, well, I kind of just want to do like be a math guy or something like that. Cause like I'm getting my math degree. I don't really do stuff in broadcasting. I kind of do this for the fun of it. And he's like, there's no like kind of passion or anything like you have. And I was like, well, I do Rubik's Cube solving, and I've always kind of wanted to do a Rubik's Cube live stream, but like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like something that would be like totally like the best idea for me to do. And he's like, dude, you should like do it now. You should try it. You should go for it if you've always wanted to do it. So then that next week I emailed my local delegate at the time, Blake Thompson, he's now a board director of the World Cube Association,
Shout
and
out.
was like, hey, can I like, is it possible for me to like live stream a Rubik's Cube competition? Like, what would it be? Like, I've done all these things with my high school, my college. I think I have like basic equipment enough to like put one on. And he was just like, all right, I can connect you to this guy named John Epley. So then John Epley organizes all these competitions in Michigan, and he always tries to add something new each time. So he brings in like coffee for parents. He tries to get a t-shirt guy selling t-shirts outside. Like, he's always trying to innovate and stuff to try to make it just a better experience for everyone. So Blake is just like, all right, I already know this guy John is gonna want like someone to do like a live stream. Like, it's right up his alley. So I got like on a call with John to explain this. And he's like, yeah, totally. You can set up in my competition. You can do a live stream. So I did that whole live stream basically, and they loved it. We had it like on a projector going onto like the wall and stuff. So it was like almost like a Jumbotron type thing. It was like really cool. Like, the kids loved it. We were able to show like the schedule and things. So the competition was able to like, people were able to understand what group was going on too. And that was Blue Water Bridge Open 2022. So then after that, John Epley was like, hey, do you want to just do like, Great Lakes Championship? We're going to be doing that like in a couple of months. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's do that. So then I ended up doing Great Lakes Championship, and I was like, man, I really want to go and do, U.S. Nationals. Like, I think it would just be like such a fun thing to do U.S. Nationals. So later that year, I end up like, I can't just go and like ask to do U.S. Nationals without like, actually being like legit. Like, it's like some scrub from Michigan just like asking to do U.S. Nationals. So I'm like, all right, let me create like, like my company. So my Xbox gamer tag up to that point was Happy Feet Gremlin, and I had been streaming. If you go back to my Twitch, Dylan Miller would be like one of my followers in like 2020. I used to like just do solves and do like Let's Cube, just like a racing thing on Twitch. So it was Happy Feet Gremlin. But I'm like, Happy Feet Gremlin's like such a long company name. So I'm like, all right, let's do Happy Feet Productions. And yeah, I formed an LLC in November, and then like once I got my with my like certificate of like organization from like Michigan state government, I like the next day I sent an email to Cubing USA to put in a bid proposal to do U.S. Nationals, and then from there it's kind of just like continue spiraling and stuff.
Yeah, very cool. Okay. So let's touch on the name then. I noticed that because I did see that in your YouTube bio that it's still Happy Feet Gremlin as your Twitch channel. Is it a reference? It must be a reference to the movie.
Yeah, sort of. My fantasy football team was always the Gremlins. I don't know why I always chose that. I just kind of made that up for like a young age. So that's the Gremlin part. Happy Feet. So my family always, like, since I was a kid, they've always said I've always done it. But whenever I get an adrenaline rush, I'll like jump up and down and flap my arms. Something called stimming. So it's common in kids with autism. But the thing is, I don't have autism, but there's like a subset of people who have who stim but don't have autism. So basically, I'm just like in that subset, and like I've never grown out of it. I still do it while watching football games. I'll jump up and down and flap my arms. So it's kind of like I'm Happy Feet with it. That's kind of like the nuance of the name.
My daughter Georgie has the exact same stim. She just her arms go like this, and she leaps up and down into the air. And she's not autistic either, but she has this really intense stim. That's so funny. Okay, wow, there we go. There's the origin. So it was just you at the beginning, and I assume there's a team now. How has that developed?
Well, I mean, so my dad has been with me for every single one of these competitions. So it's like the common thing for me is like I'll do something and I'll just like start doing it, and then my dad will be like, dude, you could do this like so much better, and then he'll like start doing that. And even like now John Epley, he's kind of the same way as me, is like he does a lot of stuff for Happy Feet now, where he's like kind of a visionary. So it like along the way we picked up a guy named Tyler Rose, and he is our technical director, and he does a ton of other behind the scenes stuff in terms of making graphics and doing a lot of the logistical things when we go to these competitions. And he's a Michigan delegate too. And he actually got formal schooling in this. He got like a degree in broadcasting from Michigan State. Yeah, so for like, it's been super nice to have him on, because it's like basically the story is me and John Epley are like, oh, what happens if we do this? I was going to put these cameras here. And then we start doing it, and like our wires are all jank and everything. And then my dad and Tyler Rose are like, all right, this is how you actually like tape things down properly. This is how we actually like do these things. So it's kind of cool, like seeing just like the balance of a team of like, I think it's like where you surround yourself with certain people, because I don't think the broadcast would be anything without like the people that have like helped me along the way. Because like my specialty is instant replay. So like my main contribution is like I know how to set up an instant replay machine. I knew what I was looking for. I knew like all right, this is be like really good for this, like, how we can like the optimal way to like have like the broadcast pattern and stuff for like instant replays. But when it comes down to like other things where it's like, oh, this is how you like, I've never got any formal schooling on how to like, properly tape down like chords and stuff. So Tyler is just like, all right, this is what we learned in like Michigan State. No, I didn't go to GAF school. So it's like, I used to have my chords just like lying around, but then like Tyler is like, no, just like spend $30 on tape and like tape it down, make it look good, make it look professional. And it's been like miles better. And it's like, it's been super nice. So like when we show up to the Mall of America, we're actually like, we're more of like a professional production company at that point. And we're able to like, I think hopefully give cubing a good name. Like, hey, we're like here to play. We're a real sport. We have real people around us. So yeah. And to be honest, that's what it is, because my boy Tyler, he's professionally trained. So yeah.
Yeah, I know, that's great. You need it when you're building a team like that. You need hectic ideas people who are just like, whoa, we need this. You need vision, but you also need some real dad players who are just like, where's my tape? Where's my tape? Someone's going to trip on this. What's happening here? Come on now. This is a mess. Let's sort this out. I think your mum might be in the chat, by the way. I've just given a shout out to your dad there.
Linda.
I think so. Linda's in the chat. Shout out to the mums and dads. So yeah. That's the team essentially, is it? There's we're getting lots of shout outs for T Rose in the chat as well. The team is you, T Rose, your dad.
So there's like a bunch of different everyone's an independent contractor when it comes down to it. So like it sometimes changes based on like location of the competition. Like you'll pick up people locally to certain areas, or that kind of thing. So I mean, like there's been countless other people who've helped us out too, filling in other tasks, playing large part throughout it all. Like my first ever independent contractor I hired was like my friend who I interned with at high school, Michael, and he's been great too. He's helped us out. He went to North American Championships with us. So no, there's like just people you pick up like all around the place. But when it comes down to like, the core team, it's probably like us four there who've, been doing it all from like the kind of the beginning.
Yeah, so, right. Very cool. Hey, so like a question I'm interested to ask. Your mom's getting lots of shout outs in the chat as well. Benjamin, official Timmy Benjamin in the chat as well, saying production quality really matters. It shows your graphics on screen are real sharp. Like there's no wasted space. Like it's all very clean. It's so interesting you're saying you're coming from like having done sports before coming into this, because you can see that on the screen with your streams, which I really like. So I guess my question now, don't reveal anything financially sensitive, but I'm like, where's the backing coming from at the moment? Like, what does that look like? I don't know what the organizations in America are around organizing competitions, but where's the backing for you at the moment? And like, is that something you're looking to develop?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's a lot of organizational teams who front the money, who want a live stream to happen. So to just cover my costs and stuff going. And then like the other part of it is just me because like Happy Feet Productions does a lot of stuff in broadcasting, but I also do a lot of freelance editing. Like I'm filming a wedding next month. I do a lot of other things. So like I do a lot of digital marketing things too. So I've like grown channels from like 0 to like 14,000 subscribers and things like that. So I do make money in like other ways. So that's actually like a more profitable side of Happy Feet that I just kind of like turn and just burn it on cubing, just because like I enjoy it so much. And I'm able to do that now because I'm in college. That might change real quick once I graduate at the end of this year. But that's where a lot of it, like the backing comes from.
Okay.
So yeah.